The text message went out on a Tuesday morning, 13 words I'd thought through carefully the night before. By lunchtime, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. 17 calls from my mother. By evening, it was 35. The voicemails got more frantic each time. They called for days. I didn't answer once. When I finally picked up, weeks later, the fear in my mother's voice told me everything I needed to know. They'd finally understood what they'd actually done. But to understand why 13 words triggered that kind of panic, you need to know what kind of family the Connors were. They were the kind who could miss your college graduation because something else came up, then 2 weeks later sell your car, the one thing that was legally yours, to throw a birthday party for your sister, and somehow expect you to show up smiling with a gift in hand. The afternoon my name was called at graduation, the sky over Columbus was the color of old dishwater. That smell hung in the air, rain about to fall mixed with fresh-cut grass from the field. I'd been scanning the folding chairs since I arrived, looking for 3 faces I already knew wouldn't be there. Row after row of parents holding flowers, grandparents with cameras, families waving. And then, exactly where I'd reserved them, 3 empty seats. I watched a girl 2 rows ahead hug her mother after we walked. Watched another graduate hand his father the diploma, both of them grinning. A classmate's mom asked if she could take my photo. I said yes. She told me I looked beautiful. I thanked her and wondered if my own mother even remembered what day it was. The drive home felt longer than it should have. Just me and the car, the one thing they'd ever put in my name. They'd called it teaching responsibility. I called it the only possession I actually owned. Growing up as Becca's sister meant learning a particular kind of math early. Her dance recital or my school play.
Becca.
Her friend's party or my birthday dinner.
Becca.
College fund or Becca's summer abroad. You can guess. I'd gotten used to it. Learned not to ask for much. Learned to celebrate quietly, alone, without making it anyone else's problem. But graduation was supposed to be different. They'd promised. My mother had even written it on the calendar. Sitting in my apartment that evening, still in my cap and gown, I finally understood something I'd been avoiding for years. The empty seats weren't an accident or a miscommunication. When it really mattered, they made a choice. And it was never me. A week later, Becca showed up on a Thursday afternoon. The sun was out for once, bright and warm.
She needed the car, she said.
Just for a few errands. Back by the weekend she promised.
I was still hurt about graduation.
Still processing those empty seats. But Becca was my sister. I loved her, even when loving her meant coming second. I handed over the keys. I watched her drive away, my car disappearing around the corner, and told myself it would be fine. It was just a weekend. The weekend came and went. No car. No Becca. I sent a text Saturday evening. Hey, need the car back soon. Nothing.
Sunday morning, I called.
Straight to voicemail. I told myself she was busy. Probably just forgot to charge her phone. Becca was like that, scattered, always caught up in whatever was happening right in front of her. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I needed that car. Emily had been asking me to visit for months, and I'd finally planned the trip. Another text. Becca, seriously, where's my car? Another call. Another voicemail. Thursday afternoon, exactly 1 week since she'd borrowed it. I stared at my phone and felt something shift. This wasn't Becca being scattered. This was Becca ignoring me. I scrolled to my mother's number. My thumb hovered over it. Part of me didn't want to involve her, didn't want to be the sister who caused problems, who made things difficult. But my car had been gone a week, and no one was answering. I pressed call. My mother picked up on the 3rd ring, her voice distracted.
Joanna?
What is it? I'm in the middle of something. It's about Becca, I said. She borrowed my car last week, and I haven't heard from her. Can you tell her I need it back? The pause that followed lasted too long. Oh, my mother said, like she'd just remembered something mildly inconvenient. We sold it. The words didn't register at first. I heard them, but they didn't make sense. You what? The car. We sold it. Her voice had that edge it always got when she had to explain something she thought should be obvious. You weren't using it much anyway, Joanna. And Becca's birthday is coming up. We wanted to do something really nice this year. A real party. The kind she deserves. I sat down on the edge of my bed. My hand holding the phone felt distant, like it belonged to someone else. You sold my car. Well, it's not like you were driving it much, she said, already defensive. And the money's going to something good. Becca's turning 25. That's a milestone. We're renting a venue, hiring a caterer. It's going to be beautiful. No apology. Not even a hint of one. She was talking about napkin colors and guest lists while I tried to process what she'd just said. They'd taken my car, the one thing that was legally, officially mine, and sold it. Without asking. Without telling me. I'd found out because I'd called looking for it. When were you planning to tell me? My voice came out steady, calmer than I felt. Well, I'm telling you now. She sighed, impatient. Look, you should come to the party. Really? We'll all have a good time. Becca would love to see you. I stared at the wall across from my bed. They'd sold my car to fund my sister's birthday party. And now I was being invited to celebrate. Like I should be grateful. Like I should show up with a gift and a smile and pretend this was normal. It was still in my name, I said quietly. It's family, Joanna. These things happen. Anyway, I have to go. Still so much to plan. I'll text you the details about the party. She hung up before I could respond. I sat there, phone resting in my palm, the silence of my apartment pressing in.
They hadn't asked.
They hadn't consulted me. They'd simply decided that what was mine could be taken, that Becca's celebration mattered more than my consent. The car wasn't just transportation. It was the one thing they couldn't take. Except they had. I didn't call back. Didn't cry. I just sat there as the room darkened around me, letting the truth settle into place. They hadn't missed my graduation by accident. They'd chosen something else that day, something more important, more worthy of their time. And now they'd chosen again. Becca's party over my property. Becca's celebration over my consent. I thought about every birthday where hers got the restaurant, the cake, the guests, while mine got a card on the counter. Every recital where the whole family showed up for her, while my school events got, maybe next time. Every accomplishment of mine that was met with a distracted, that's nice, while hers triggered phone calls to relatives, posts on social media, dinner celebrations. The pattern had always been there. I'd just been too busy hoping it would change to see it clearly. The car wasn't just transportation. It was the one thing that had my name on it. Legal documents. Official records. Mine. Not family property, not something they could justify redistributing, mine. And they'd taken it anyway. That night, I didn't call them back. I didn't draft angry texts or plan speeches. Instead, I pulled out my insurance folder from the filing cabinet. Found the policy documents. Scanned through them carefully. Vehicle owner, Joanna Connor. Policy holder, Joanna Connor. Active coverage, yes. I read it twice. Then I set the documents on my desk and looked at them for a long time. By morning, I knew exactly what I was going to do. The next morning, I called the insurance company at 9 o'clock sharp. The representative who answered had a pleasant, professional voice. I gave her my policy number and waited. How can I help you today, Ms. Connor? I need to clarify something about my vehicle, I said. My voice was steady.
Come.
The car that's insured under my policy has been sold. By my family. Without my consent. A pause. I see. And you're calling to report this. I'm calling to clarify the situation for your records. I don't want there to be any confusion. The car wasn't stolen. I know where it went and who sold it. But I didn't authorize the sale, and I wasn't consulted. I could hear her typing. Okay. Let me ask you a few questions to document this properly. Were you part of the decision to sell the vehicle?
No.
Did you authorize anyone to sell the vehicle on your behalf?
No.
Were you informed before the sale took place?
No.
I found out a week later when I called asking where my car was. More typing. The sound of it was strangely comforting, official, permanent, recorded. And the vehicle is still listed under your name as the registered owner and policy holder?
Yes.
I have the documents in front of me. All right, Ms. Connor. I'm going to open a case file for this. It's standard procedure for unauthorized vehicle sales. Someone from our investigation department will likely need to follow up. Do you have documentation of ownership?
Yes.
Registration, title, insurance policy, all in my name. Perfect.
Keep those handy.
You should receive a case number via email within the hour. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No.
That's everything. Thank you. I hung up and set the phone down on my desk next to the insurance documents. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel triumphant or vindictive. I felt clear, like something that had been blurry for years had finally come into focus. I hadn't lied, hadn't exaggerated, hadn't tried to get them in trouble. I'd simply stated facts. My car, sold without my permission, still in my name, still insured under my policy. Whatever happened next wasn't revenge. It was accountability. Before I tell you what that accountability looked like, let me ask you something. Would you have stayed silent, or would you have exploded? I'm genuinely curious what you'd have done. That evening, I opened a new text message to my mother. I typed 13 words, read them twice, and hit send. Just confirming. You sold the car that's still insured in my name. I told the insurer it wasn't stolen. Simple. Factual. Undeniable. Then I silenced my phone and went to bed. When I woke up the next morning, the screen showed 35 missed calls. 17 from my mother, 12 from Becca, 6 from my father. I hadn't even known he had my current number. I opened the voicemail app and let the transcripts load instead of listening. The first few were confused. Joanna, call me back. We need to talk about this. Then panicked. This is serious. You need to call us right now. Then angry. You're completely overreacting. It's just a car. We're family. We can fix this. Just call us back and we'll sort it out. Why would you involve the insurance company? Do you have any idea what you've done? I read through all of them, my coffee getting cold on the counter. Then I deleted every voicemail, one by one, and set my phone face down. 2 weeks until Becca's party. 2 weeks for them to panic, to realize that I wasn't calling back, wasn't engaging, wasn't going to make this easy. I went to work, had lunch with a coworker, made plans to see Emily the following weekend, responded to texts from friends, lived my life exactly as I had been living it. My phone kept buzzing. More calls, more voicemails, a few texts that started out reasonable and ended in capitals. I read them all and responded to none of them. The silence was doing something I never could have done by arguing. It was making them sit with what they'd done, with no way to explain it away, no way to make me understand their side, no way to convince me I was overreacting. They'd taken my car without asking. I'd told the truth without yelling. Now, they'd have to live with both of those facts. Meanwhile, at the Connor house, my mother kept calling. Each time, the phone rang through to voicemail. Each time, my calm, recorded voice invited her to leave a message. I heard later from Juliet what those days looked like for them. Becca sat at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone, visibly annoyed. I don't get why she's being so dramatic. It's just a car. My father leaned against the counter, arms crossed. We'll handle it. It's paperwork. We'll explain the situation. They told themselves I would calm down. I always did. I was the reasonable one, the one who kept the peace, who didn't make scenes. Give me a few days and I'd see this wasn't worth destroying family relationships over. The party planning continued. My mother finalized the catering order. Becca approved the floral arrangements. The venue was booked, the guest list confirmed, the photographer scheduled. It was going to be beautiful, everything Becca deserved. When the first official letter arrived from the insurance company, my mother opened it, skimmed it, and set it aside. Legal jargon. Case numbers. Requests for documentation. It looked serious, but it couldn't actually be serious. They were family. This was a family matter. We're family, my mother practiced saying to the mirror. It was a family decision. We were helping fund something important. Another letter arrived. Then another. The language was formal, insistent. They were requesting proof of authorization for the sale. Registration documents. Title transfer records. Becca glanced at them and shrugged. Just paperwork. Dad can handle it. My father looked at the letters longer than he wanted to admit. Something about the formal language made his stomach tight. But the party was in 2 days. Surely this could wait. Surely I would answer by then. I had to. My mother sent another text. Joanna, please. Let's talk about this like adults. Becca's party is Saturday. You're still invited. We're still your family. No response. She probably thought I would see how beautiful it was, how much love went into it, and understand why the car had to be sold. Family was family. Everything would be fine.
I didn't go to the party.
I stayed home that Saturday, the apartment quiet around me, and tried not to think about what was happening across town. I found out later what it looked like. Cousin Juliet told me some of it. A mutual friend filled in the rest. The decorations had been perfect, apparently. White and gold balloons in the corners, string lights wrapped around the venue's beams. Guests filling the space with laughter and conversation. Becca radiant in her new dress, opening gifts at a table overflowing with ribbons and wrapping paper. My mother had moved through the crowd playing hostess, accepting compliments on the decorations, the food, the whole beautiful celebration. This was what my car money had been for. That moment. That joy. Then her phone rang. Juliet said she watched my mother's face change, watched her glance around at the guests, then move quickly toward a quieter corner near the hallway. I wasn't there to hear the conversation, but I knew what the insurance company would have asked. The same questions they'd asked me. Professional, neutral, methodical. When was the vehicle sold? By whose authority? Was the registered owner part of this decision? Did she authorize the sale? Was she notified before it happened? My mother's answers, whatever they were, must have sounded confident at first. She could handle this. It was a family decision. We discussed it. But then the questions would have gotten more direct, more precise, requiring yes or no answers she couldn't give. The call ended. Juliet said my mother stood there afterward, phone pressed to her ear, even though the line was dead. When she turned back to the party, guests were whispering. My father was watching her. Becca had stopped opening gifts. Mom, Becca's voice had carried across the room. What's wrong? The music was still playing. The cake still waited. But something in the atmosphere had shifted, like air pressure dropping before a storm. I wasn't there to see it, but I knew exactly what had happened. The insurance company had called during Becca's birthday party, had asked questions my mother couldn't answer the way she needed to, had made it clear, in professional, undeniable language, that what they'd done had a name. Unauthorized sale. And there were consequences for that. The official letters started arriving within days. I heard about it from Juliet later. My mother standing at the mailbox, opening envelope after envelope, her face getting tighter with each one. The sale had to be reversed financially. The buyer, once the situation was explained, wanted nothing to do with a vehicle involved in an insurance investigation. I was reimbursed in full. The transaction was flagged in official records as unauthorized. Fines followed: improper vehicle transfer, failure to provide documentation, violation of insurance protocols. My father spent hours on the phone with bureaucrats who didn't care about family circumstances. My mother filled out form after form, each one asking the same questions she couldn't answer the right way. Did the owner authorize this?
No.
Was the owner notified?
No.
Did you have legal permission?
No.
The money they'd spent on Becca's party had to be returned, somehow. The fines added up. The paperwork became a nightmare that lasted weeks. But the financial pain was temporary. They could pay the fines. They could handle the paperwork. The real loss took longer for them to understand. Thanksgiving came. I didn't go. Didn't call. Didn't send a text saying I couldn't make it. I just didn't show up. Juliet told me later that my mother had set an extra place at the table out of habit, then stared at it for a long moment before putting it away. Christmas arrived. My mother called and left a voicemail. It's Christmas, honey. Whatever happened, we're still family. Please call back. I didn't call back.
Easter.
Another holiday, another round of unanswered texts. Becca sent a picture of the family gathered together. Miss you. Hope you're well. I saw the 3 blue checkmarks appear beneath it, showing I'd read it. I didn't respond. Months passed. At a family gathering, cousin Juliet ran into me at a coffee shop downtown. She told me later she'd mentioned it to my mother. She looked great, Juliet had said. Really good, actually. Happy. Did she ask about us? My mother had asked too quickly. Juliet hesitated. Not really. She was busy. Meeting a friend, I think.
Busy.
Meeting friends. Living my life somewhere they couldn't see, couldn't reach, couldn't explain things to. My father started driving past my apartment buildings sometimes. Juliet mentioned that too. How he'd see the lights on, know I was there, but never stop. What would he say? That they were sorry? They'd said that in voicemails. That it was a mistake? The insurance paperwork said otherwise. Becca tried a different approach. Casual texts about nothing important. Saw this meme and thought of you. Remember that restaurant we used to go to? Each one delivered. Each one read. Each one ignored. They realized, slowly and then all at once, that the calls wouldn't be returned. The texts wouldn't be answered. The apologies wouldn't be heard. They'd broken something that had been documented in official records. Case files. Insurance investigations. Legal paperwork that said, in black and white, that they had taken something that wasn't theirs without permission. They couldn't gaslight their way out of that. Couldn't rewrite it as a misunderstanding. Couldn't reframe it as a family decision when the government documents clearly stated, unauthorized sale. I hadn't fought them. Hadn't screamed or accused or demanded anything. I'd simply told the truth and then disappeared. And that, my absence, my silence, the empty chair at every holiday table, was the consequence they couldn't reverse. No amount of money could buy back my presence. No apology could undo the pattern I'd finally stopped tolerating. They'd taught me I came second. I'd learned the lesson. And now they had to live with what they'd taught me. 6 months later, Emily sat across from me in my apartment, coffee going cold between us. She'd been watching me carefully for the past few minutes, the way friends do when they're deciding whether to ask the question. Finally, she asked it. How do you feel? About all of it, your family, everything that happened? I looked out the window at the street below, then back at her. Free. The word felt exactly right. Not bitter. Not triumphant. Just accurate. My phone still buzzed occasionally. A birthday text in March. A holiday card at Easter. Last week, an email from my mother with the subject line, "We miss you," that opened with, "We always loved you equally, Joanna. You have to know that." I'd read it once. Didn't respond. Deleted it the next day. They wanted to rewrite what happened, turn it into a misunderstanding, a family squabble that got out of hand. They wanted me to forget that they sold my car without asking and invited me to the party, like I should be grateful. I wasn't interested in their version. The mail came while Emily was still there. I sorted through it absently. Bills, a flyer for a new restaurant, and then an envelope with the insurance company's logo in the corner. I opened it standing at the counter. Case closed. Resolution in favor of policyholder. Full reimbursement confirmed. The language was formal, final, permanent. I read it twice, then folded it carefully and filed it in the drawer with the rest of the documents. Not as a trophy, as a reminder. My family had taught me that some people will always choose favorites. That love, for them, came with conditions and hierarchies. That being the reasonable one meant being the expendable one. The insurance company taught me something else entirely, that systems, unlike families, care about facts. I didn't need to scream to be heard. Didn't need to fight to win. I just needed to stay calm, tell the truth, and let accountability do what love couldn't. The empty seats at graduation hurt.
The sold car broke something.
But the silence, my chosen, maintained, dignified silence, that's what they'll carry. Because I didn't cut them off in anger. I just stopped making myself available to people who never made me a priority. If you stayed with me through this story, thank you. If any part of it felt familiar, you're not alone. If you'd like to hear more real family stories like this one, you can subscribe to the channel. And if this story brought up something personal for you, feel free to share it in the comments. I do read them. Thanks for listening.